Hey, good morning. So, something that I want to touch on this morning again was just probably couldn't connects to yesterday a little bit, and that's it. We need to realize the seasonal changes in our lives. You need to start understanding the growth that needs to take place. You need to understand that there's two different versions of growth. There's a positive growth and a negative growth, and there can't be growth if nothing changes. So, it's change and growth runs hand in hand for me. You can't, there's people who always do the same thing and expecting a different result. Where they say that's the definition of insanity is doing exactly the same thing and expecting a different result. If you want a different result, you've got to try something different. Um, if a tree stays at 1 meter high, looks the same every day, you can't go there's growth. You can't see any growth. You don't see any changes. If a person comes in to work and goes home, comes in, goes home, and nothing ever changes, you can't see growth. It's got to be growth in your life. And whether it's climbing the corporate ladder at the office, whether it's from being a newbie to becoming a veteran, becoming a skilled player in your sport, becoming the captain of your team, if you want to talk about positioning, that's one thing. Going from a victim mindset to a victory mindset or a victor mindset, I feel is the main one, is one of the first ones, the main ones. Because remember, I said that the battle starts and ends in your mind. That's where you already win it or lose it, for that matter. And you need to remember that not everybody that is with you is always meant to stay there. So that's what I want to touch on today, is with the seasonal changes in our life, that seasons come and go. Sometimes the same seasons comes around because we need to get in. I love thinking about games when it comes to growing in life. Because in certain types of games, you get upgrades to your equipment, your character levels up, he gets new skills, you increase his health and his strength, and if it's a mage, a power can get stronger, and then you get equipment that do special things. They give you an extra shield, or they attack a guy extra hard, or whatever. It gives you it betters your accuracy, or some stuff like that. If that makes sense at all. If you're not a gamer, I'm sorry. But the thing of it is that this is what it's important for me, is to relate these things to, like, people that come and go in your life. Some people start with you and stay with you for your whole life. These are the coolest people. I love these people because not only do you, as you grow, learn more from them and about them. Actually, the things I've learned about my mom over the last year, the last 4 months, 5 months, and I haven't seen her that much, but we've spoken enough. But the things that I've realized about her, I've never realized in my life before, because of the growth that I went through, because of my mind that opened up. So that's why these people are so fascinating. And in that, you learn more about yourself as well. And you get to see the upgrades then that you've applied in your life, or that where God has brought you to, where God has got you through. Some people start with you and then fall off. Some come on along the way for a period only. Some come on board along the way and stay with you for the rest of the period. So all these people fill a role. They in your life and you in their life. So don't be surprised. Sometimes those people, I don't know, they just come and they go. Sometimes they come and you stick and it goes, and it's all. I believe God plans everything like this to happen the way it should. But if somebody else makes a wrong decision, then they've got to find a different path. Because remember, God rewrites if we don't make the decisions that He hopes we'll make. He changes, but the destination stays the same, even though the path changes based on how we walk it. Because we aren't always as obedient as we should be. And that's the important things over here. But everybody is in your life for a reason. But bear in mind that not all these people are there for the good, for your good. So there's the two types of growth. Firstly, that I wanted to mention as well is the positive growth, which is the moving forward, the moving up, the getting better, the winning yeah, as well. So that's the positive growth. Negative growth is stuff going backwards, like your car. Your car is cool, but your car faces negative growth. It depreciates. is the word that everybody uses. It loses value every day. Now, you don't want to grow that way. That's still a form of growing. But time doesn't stand still for you, my friend. Time doesn't go backwards. If you go backwards, unfortunately, you actually fall behind doubly because you don't need to catch up and then get ahead again. So it's a double move that you need to prove to get to where you need to go. You don't want to grow that way. So I'm not going to talk about that much because you know me. I don't like. Why do we focus on that? Yes, it's there. We need to acknowledge it as soon as we can. Get rid of it. Get get back on track. That's how I like to play. So remember that not everybody's there for. Not everybody that's in your life is the good person. Some are those that are going to distract you and make you lose focus and maybe fall off the bandwagon and stuff. But they're also there to help you learn something and you to teach them. Sometimes they come into your life and they might not be in the right place of their life to learn from you what you need to learn. And if you don't fall off and you move away from, and life moves you away from them again, fine, it happens. It's part of life. There's not saying that the paths might not cross again at some point. We don't know this. Only God knows this. But all we need to do is follow Jesus. That's the most important thing that we can always do. I've learned that, you can't compare good if you don't know what bad is. Then you don't know what good. You can't know what good is if you don't know what bad is. You cannot know what winning feels like if you've never lost. You cannot know what a great decision feels like if you've never made any bad ones. If you've never failed, you never know what succeeding means. You understand what I'm saying? So faults happen, but we make our decisions based on the best that we know at that stage. That's the coolest thing about it. You only see it as a mistake afterwards when you've learned better. You say sometimes, oh, shame that Oak doesn't know any better. You can only say that because you do know better. That person does not know better. That person is living his life, making his decisions based on everything he knows right now in that moment. He's making the decision to the best of his ability. That's the coolest, craziest thought I've ever had. And it actually changed so much for me in my life. When you a wound on your body takes time to heal. But as far as my understanding goes, if it never stops bleeding, it can't fully heal. It can't actually start healing if the bleeding doesn't stop. So you need to stop the bleeding first. And then the wound goes through all sorts of things. It starts drying up, so to speak, for the lack of the better term. I know the medical professionals have all the words for these things, but it starts drying up because you cover it, you put some ruimpies on there and all, you do whatever you need to do, keep it covered, open it up, let it breathe, whatever, let it do its thing. But then a scab forms eventually at some point and it heals a little bit more. The new skin forms, the skin heals itself. The body does all these amazing, wonderful chemical things, which is great. And then eventually the scab dries up and falls off. Now, depending on the type of wound, depends on the type of people you need in your life for that. If you've got a wound that is fatal, that can cost you your life, you don't want a bad doctor, nurses that don't care, terrible equipment and tools. You don't want that if your life is at stake. So why are you allowing bad people in your life when your life is at stake? My friend, your life is at stake. Get yourself the best medical people around you to help you grow in your life. Do not allow bad equipment, bad nurses, bad doctors to influence your life so you can't go where you need to go, so you can't grow where you need to go. Because you need to grow where you need to go. Now, this reminded me a little bit of Isaiah 30, verse 21. It says, your ear shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Whenever you turn to the right or the left. So God will remind you where to walk. We just need to listen. The path becomes simple when we listen to what the Lord tells us, and then when we obey Him. But great rewards aren't found in nothing. He gives us these things, we're like, Lord, no, I don't know, this is outside of my comfort zone. You aren't going to get your best rewards inside. You aren't going to get miracles in your comfort zone in the first place, but the best rewards are lying there where God tells you to walk. And He stretches you there because He needs you to grow. That's where you grow. Outside of your comfort zone is where you grow. Walk in the path God has for you is where you grow. And you need to put in the effort. Faith without action is dead. We've learned this. So action it. Walk in the path the Lord has given you. Because He needs you to grow for where He needs you to go. So find His path for your life. Walk in it. And find yourself the best medical staff along the way. Your life depends on it.